All right, good morning, people of YouTube. So we are back again today with the deck that got the support that I was the most excited for EX3. That's right, it is none other than Commandramon. So this deck has been interesting for a very long time. Um, and, you just typically played your 16 Commandramons, played some Rookie Rush style, played some Security Bombs. You have your Darkdramon for your mid game. Bada bing, bada boom, you got a Commandramon deck. But now we have a whole Darkdramon line that we can build into. We have this Commandramon that we can play, so now we can play effectively 20 Commandramons in the list. So there has been a split with how this deck has been played now. You can either build up into the Darkdramon line, or you can go into the full Rookie Rush style that the deck leaned into in the past. And that is more the style that I have taken a liking to. I think that if you're going to build into a big level 6, there are better options in black. And I feel like this deck is a little bit more consistent as a Rookie Rush style deck. But that is my personal preference. The deck will be successful as both variants. This is a deck that you will continue to see take top 16, top 8s at big tournaments for years to come. This is a deck that isn't going anywhere. Commandramon is a fan favorite, and yeah, we'll go ahead and get into some of the card choices, some of the additions that this deck got. And if you guys could, make sure you guys like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the Digitama. So we got this new Digitama in this list, the new Missimon. This says if you have another Digimon with D-Brigade and its traits in play, this Digimon gains Reboot. So this is really nice for allowing your rookies that live security checks to kind of unsuspend and during your opponent's turn to make them harder to hit over. It makes your opponent actually have to remove your rookies with card effects, which could set them back. This is a very welcome addition to the deck, but also we have this old egg Pagumon that just on deletion reveal the top card. If it's a black Digimon, put it in your hand. Some people will still gravitate towards this. I think either of these rookies are objectively correct. You should just be playing 4 of whichever one you like, and then if you want a 5th egg, easy, you just play one copy of the other one. But both of these eggs are objectively correct, and I will be continuing to test with both. Right now, I'm leaning towards 4 copies of the Missimon because I do really value the reboot. So going on to the level 3s. This is the new Commandramon. This card has Decoy for any D-Brigade card, which is really nice. If you have one of these in play, you can kind of protect your Darkdramon from a deletion effect, which is cool. Most of the time, this is just going to have value by being another Commandramon name, and being a Commandramon that is relatively cheap to play because it's a 3 cost to hard slam, so that's really nice. Next, we got 3 copies of the best Commandramon, the one that on delete, you get to reveal 3 and play a Commandramon from the top of your deck. This is the reason why we load up the deck with Commandramon, because if we play 20 Commandramon, that is 2/5 of our deck, which means in the 3 cards that we reveal, we are statistically likely to see a Commandramon. So this is a really good card. Having a floater is nice. We got 4 copies of the 2-cost Commandramon. He is your best vanilla. We got 4 copies of the 5,000 DP 4-cost Commandramon. This is the best one to evolve in your breeding area, aside from the rare Commandramon from BT4, that is. But, having really high DP makes this one the most likely to live the security check and trigger the Missimon reboot. So this is a really good card. And then we got 4 copies of the Blocker Commandramon. If you're going to cut any of these Commandramons, I think you could either cut one of these 4 costs. And I'd lean more towards the Blocker, just because 4,000 or 4 memory for a 2K body isn't great, even if it has Blocker. So, those are my 20 Commandramon in the list. Again, you really want to load the deck up with this card, so that way you fill your graveyard fast, you see all the pieces you need. It's a good card to be playing. So for the rest of the black level 3s, I got 2 copies of Chikurimon from the starter deck. This deck can lose to a well-timed Death Exmon, which people are still playing because it is still a staple card for the format. And this card helps mitigate that. This card also does really well into Blue Flare, which can be an issue if you don't rush them down quickly enough. So Chikurimon is nice. I could only find room for 2, but you could try to bump the copies of this up if you find yourself struggling into those matchups. Next, we got 3 copies of Agumon. This card is really nice because you can discard a Cyborg and draw 2. In addition to having D-Brigade in their traits, all of these cards have Cyborg. So you have 20 pitches right there. And then the extra Agumons. This card is really nice, and because it's a black Digimon, we can actually hit it off the Pride Memory boost. So I do like 3 copies of this card. Discard 1, draw 2 is always going to be good. And by that same token, we are playing 2 copies of the new Sistermon Blanc. So this card is cool because it does the same thing as the Agumon, but you don't have to discard a Cyborg. You can discard any card. So if you have like a security bomb that's just chilling in your hand and has been for a while, kind of being dead, you can discard it with this and get 2 fresh cards, which is really nice. You're never going to get the decoy because you don't play any Huckmon or any Royal Knights, but the 3000 DP on a 3 cost that gets rid of a dead card in your hand and then draws you 2 fresh cards is amazing. The only reason I'm not playing more copies of this card is because it is a white Digimon, and I cannot hit it off the Pride Memory boost. And I really want to stack my deck to be able to resolve that card effectively. So that is actually it for the rookies. I'm playing a whopping 27 of them. Going into the champions, I play 3. We got 1 copy of Grumblemon for game, and then 2 copies of the new Sealsdramon from EX3. So this card is great because it has jamming. You have another really good effect as an inheritable that you play whenever you play the full Darkdramon evolution line, but I don't play any level 5, so you're never going to resolve the inheritable effects. But having jamming on a card that can have reboot with the Missimon, it's really great. This card effectively becomes a more annoying version of the blue Vmon, and it forces your opponent to deal with it, basically. They have to waste a card or use an effect to get rid of this, or they're just going to continue getting chipped by it. I have been considering playing just a single copy of Tankmon to have a way to end my turn by evolving into that and then getting another body in play. Or, if I had 3 memory, you could evolve Tankmon into the Seals, or over the Sealsdramon, and then its effect would let you reveal 3 and play Commandramon from that. And then the Sealsdramon inheritable would give you Rush. But I don't want to play just 1 level 5 in a deck where I'm playing 3 level 4s. That is something that you could elect to do, but I think the Sealsdramon is just a good enough card to play just for the jamming. Even without level 5s in the list, this inheritable is great, but the jamming is what makes this card amazing in this list. Next, we got 4 copies of Darkdramon. This is the heart and soul of the deck. In the past, we've only played 3 of this card, and that was because by the time that you had 5 D-Brigades in your trash, you typically had this card in your hand, and you could just play it for your 3 memory, get your rush, and do some swings that way. Now we are playing 4 of it, because if we have 2 of this in our hand, we can just essentially discard 1 with the Haguru or the Sistermon Blanc, and then we can stack it back whenever we play the second Darkdramon. So you can kind of make a little loop so that you can always have access to this card. So you don't really need 4, but I would rather see it and not need it than need it and not see it. And this is one of the boss monsters of the card, or of the deck. So having access to it at all points in the game is pretty important. And then rounding out the Digimon, we have 2 copies of Death Exmon. In a rushdown style deck, this card gains more value because it is a body that you can play for relatively cheap that puts your opponent immediately on the back foot. They have to respond to this card rather than the plethora of rookies that you are putting into their face. And that can spell doom for them. This card is also super beneficial in this deck because you can evolve this over the Darkdramon, and you can get a Darkdramon out for just 3 memory. So for 9 memory, you can have a full Death Exmon resolution at any point in the game, and that's terrifying. Yeah, just a great card. So that's it for the Digimon. Going into the Tamers, I'm playing 3 copies of Kazu. This card's great. It gives you more draws, it gives you more memory, and this card is one of the reasons that we can get away with only playing 1 Memory Tamer in the 1 Izzy. Yeah, the Kazu just drawing cards, gaining memory is really all you need, and all you have to do in order for that to happen is for you to have a machine or a cyborg in play, which this deck is chock full of. And then the Izzy being the best generic black memory tamer that we have access to. We only have 2 white cards in the list, so 48 cards of this list are black, so the chances of you playing this card for 3 memory are really good. But you don't need to see a memory tamer at all points because your deck is really low to the ground, and oftentimes playing another body is better than playing a tamer or an option. So for that reason, I am only playing the 4 tamers in this list. One of the options, however, that is great to play just whenever is the 4 copies of Pride Memory Boost. So with 25 cards in the list, I'm pretty sure, yeah, the 20 Commandramon and then these 5, you have 50% of your cards are able to be summoned off of the Pride Memory Boost. So when you're revealing 4 of the top cards of your deck, the odds of you playing a Digimon for free is very high. And then you have a memory boost to resolve later to get you more memory, to get you more bodies, to get you closer to your goal of whittling them down. And this is a very, very phenomenal card. And I think one of the main reasons that this deck is more consistent, in my opinion, than the full Darkdramon stack list is because you can resolve this card more effectively and more consistently. And this card just puts you so far ahead. Getting a memory boost and a body out of it is insane. Like, just ask any Blue Flare player how they feel whenever they fully resolve their Blazing Memory Boost. And then this card is like diet that. So it's phenomenal, and being only 4 memory, it's a little bit less of a commitment. And then for our security bombs, to round out the deck, I play 3 copies of Ultimate Flare and 3 copies of the Big Iron Fist. Having a bunch of good cards, like these 6 cards and then the 2 copies of Death Exmon, provide, along with the 4 Tamers and then the Memory Boost, you have a fair amount of cards in this list that your opponent doesn't want to see whenever they hit your security. And they kind of have to swing at your security to keep pace with you. So there'll be a lot of times that they just hit one of these blowout options in your security and lose the game because of it. And the reason we're doing the split is because some things have protection in this format, like Iron Fist isn't as good into, let's say, War Greymon or Black War Greymon. And those decks are rising in popularity because they've had great successes at tournaments. Whereas Ultimate Flare isn't really as good against Examon sometimes, because while you can deal with the first stack with the Ultimate Flare, the second stack that they're building off of the Slayer Dramon that they played off the first Examon. So this card will not fully delete the second one. So it's one of those things that having the mix kind of puts you in a better position against a wider variety of decks. And seeing as you are kind of a simple-brained Unga Boonga-style deck where you just kind of swing face, having interaction is important. So that's all I have to say about this list. I will probably be bringing you an update as I continue to test this and continue to fine-tune it, but in my testing so far, this has been absolutely phenomenal and one of the decks that I'm the most excited to be playing this format. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.